is going on, everybody? It's Cornbread Trucker here, coming to you from my 90. So man, this trip, not a bad trip. I got dispatched on this load from the house, and I ran over the Pearson. I had dropped my trailer at Pearson when I came home, and ran back over there, and of course it was gone. Somebody had it. So I got this trailer here, and it only had a quarter of a tank on the reefer. Not a big deal. The route I was taking, though, from Pearson up to Lake City, there was no fuel stops, and I could have easily gone a couple of different ways, but I went ahead and just ran that route. Just kind of in a mood, I guess, kind of take a route I hadn't taken before. So I get over to Lake City, and they had some issues with their system, and so ended up took them about 5 hours to get me loaded.
Attention.
And to be honest, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't mind that, but what it did do is I had an O2, the pickup app, in the morning, and because it took them so long, the only way I could have got a 10-hour break was to stay right where I was at. It's already 5 hours into it. Could have stayed there and got a 10-hour, at least got a fresh clock. But I because that reefer was low on fuel when I took it, I was already getting alerts, and so I needed to get that fueled. I didn't want to wait on that, and so I had to start my clock for that. So what I did was, in doing so, meant that there was no way to get me a 10-hour break between going over, picking up at my O2, and then needed to be over here at my 90 later in the day. So I did a split, and so I already had 5 hours, so I needed a 7-hour sleeper berth to complete the split for the day. So I got closer to the McDonough, but stopped short because I knew the closer I got, well, it was getting late. That's the closer I got, the harder it is to find a place to stop. So I pulled into a rest area and did a 7-hour there, and got up and ran on into McDonough. But what I did, so when I got up, I picked up some hours because I completed my split. Not a full clock, but I had like 10 hours and something on my 14-hour, and I was going to have plenty of drive time to do this. So to get over the, what I did was, I didn't turn off my split. I just kept it activated, because I knew I was going to have, once I got loaded, one, I'd either sit there a while, in which case I'm getting another break, or I was going to have time to spare, because you can't deliver to a Walmart more than an hour before appointment, on these live loads. So I knew I was going to have a break in there, and so when I got over to McDonough, I had like basically 8 hours left. Well, that would have been perfect, like pretty much right to the T. Either way, it's going to be right, just enough hours basically to get me over here, get me checked in, and I would have ran out of hours on my 14-hour clock, waiting, while I was waiting to get unloaded. And so I'd had the PC to a truck stop somewhere with safe parking. So by leaving and I could have disengaged it and engaged it later, but I just left it engaged, and basically kind of like leapfrogging from one split one day into the next, and was able to basically get a few more hours. So by the time I was over by the time I got loaded at my O2, I'd had a 3 hours and something break there, and so then when I looked at my summary, my 14-hour clock, I had 11 hours. So it went from what I had 8 to now 11. So, now I was able to come in, I get delivered to my 90. Honestly, if I'd have gotten a good pre-plan, and they get me unloaded, I'd have a little time. I could still run and maybe pick up a load. I'm not going to have a lot of time left, and he did send me a pre-plan. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but I can get to the truck stop tonight, get a place to park, go and get a shower, all that, get a 10-hour break and not use any PC. And then tomorrow, we'll see how tomorrow goes, but I will disengage the split. So that kind of helps out. But he's to get back on that pre-plan. So I had messaged him. I let him know I was going to need to do a 10-hour break. Probably most likely before I went and picked up a load. And but I did let him know, if you've got something, you want to pre-plan me on, go ahead and send it. So there, he sent me on a load that was basically a 300-mile deadhead. By the time you get over there and pick it up, it wasn't a lot of miles either. So by the time you get over there and pick it up, you just really wasn't making any good money on it. And I kind of mentioned, that in a message to him. I said, I can't make any money on that. And he said, yeah, he said he was going to look at it all in the morning. It would be a dropping hook, but on both ends. But it wasn't loaded. It wasn't supposed to be loaded till 2100 tomorrow evening. And you know how that goes. It might get loaded early. They might not even have had a trailer. It might have needed me to get there. It may not be at 2100. And so I just told him that I would just pass and set on that, and just wait and see what he finds in the morning. I think I got a better chance of getting something in the morning anyways. And so, I understand, right now with the freight and all that, we may have to, we've got to do some deadheading. But it wasn't putting me in a better load area or anything like that. So it just really wasn't, it just didn't appeal to me. So I did not take it. We'll see what we got in the morning. So the plan is get over after I get out of here, get over there, get unloaded, or get to a rest area or truck stop, prepare me something to eat, or pick up something there, get a shower, all that. So get a good night's rest, and then we'll see what he's got in the morning. But it's good to be out. That wasn't, loads coming, like when you come off of home time, it seems like that, I don't know, at least for me, it seems like that first load, I don't know, kind of dictates kind of how the trip will go. And I'm not disappointed with this load out. This load paid pretty decent for coming out of Florida. It was just a day run. Killed a little time that I really didn't want to, but all in all, pretty happy with it. Little hiccup getting loaded, getting out of there, but it's better than sitting overnight and all that. So, so overall happy with it. So if besides for having a little hiccup and working with my clock to make everything work, all in all, I'm happy with it. And if it stays true, this should be a good trip out this time, and so we'll just see how it goes. But listen, everybody, stay safe, and keep paying it forward. You guys have a good day. We'll catch you on the next one.